All right, let's just dive into this today. Okay, why are we gaining weight in our belly? Why? It's so annoying, isn't it? Because you're like, I am doing a lot of things right. And I just keep getting a little bit more, right? And I look down and I'm like, what's going on? Like, I thought I had a great day today, but my stomach's all bloated. Like, what? It almost is like things are going backwards or in reverse, even though you feel like you're really not terrible at all this fitness and nutrition stuff. I had that happen to me recently. So I really had to dig in and try to understand this because truly, I'm going to say it over and over again. What we did in our 20s and 30s, it truly is different and not working for us the way that it works for us 40s and beyond. Biologically, okay, physiology, right? I'm pretending like I know all these words. Okay. I've read a lot. All right. I know what I'm talking about. I promise. But here's what's happening is that in our 20s and 30s, this is true for me. I was so much more active. Even though I'm in health and wellness now, I realized that I was getting in only 4,000 to 5,000 steps a day. And I spent a lot of my days sitting. So I was so much more active in my 20s and my 30s. The job that I had as a teacher, I was on my feet all day. My kids were little. I literally chased them around, right? Morning till night. We were always outside playing or going on walks. Well, now my kids are at their own practices and I'm just driving them around and picking them up. So, I'm not nearly as active. Okay. Even though this is like my job, right? And I'm sure the same is for you, no matter what your job is. So, at least for me, I'm way less active, but I also have way more stress now than I did then. Okay. Yeah, it was hard to have little kids. It was stressful to be in college. It was stressful to start a new job and start my life as a grown up. That was stressful, but the stresses that I have now are way bigger. And just having, preteens and teens alone is stressful, right? There's a whole nother level of stress to our life that is bigger. My parents are getting older. We manage our finances completely differently. We're thinking about colleges and cars and it's a bigger ball game as we get older, right? In terms of our stress. Not only, the last 3 years were a ridiculous amount of stress that we had never experienced before. And we even had no idea how to deal with it other than to drink more, right? Okay. And get on Zoom calls more. And that's a different whole nother kind of environmental stress on us. So we are less active and we are more stressed now. And so what's really interesting about that is that not only are our bodies changing and our hormone levels changing, but the extra mountain of stress that we are experiencing is making that worse. Okay. Because when we already our estrogen is up and our progesterone's down. But when we're adding this mountain of stress, it actually impacts our progesterone even more, putting us in this even higher state of estrogen dominance. And what's also happening is stress. And I feel like this, I feel like this is something that's been talked about a little bit more. And if not, here you go. You're hearing it for the first time. Stress also increases the amount of cortisol in our body. And when we don't burn off this cortisol is like an energy coming into our body. It's kind of that fight or flight feeling. Okay. When we don't burn that off, it's just sitting in our body and it's forcing us to store fat. So our progesterone's going down even more, increasing estrogen dominance, belly fat. Our cortisol is going up. We're more sedentary, belly fat. Okay. So duh, right? All of this kind of makes sense. And then not only that, all this extra stress is taxing our adrenal system, which is why we feel like this. Okay. Seriously. So stress is huge. And it is absolutely 100% impacting our midsection. Okay. I want you to take this and be like, oh, okay. And know that you can do something about this. Okay. A lot of times we just feel like we have to tough it out. We need all this mental toughness. And this is just the way life is now, or this is just what's happening to me. And now this is a part of our life where we get to be proactive. And even though you may not have noticed that you are dealing with a high amount of stress, I feel like as women, we carry so much really, really well. And secretly inside, we're not, but we're doing it for everyone else, right? Because we have to hold up so much, right? To manage so much constantly. And it's really putting a huge toll on our bodies. And I know that was the case for me. And so, here's what's happening is that here are the things that are making it worse. Okay. All those things that we sort of can't control are making it worse, but also we are interrupting our sleep a lot of times by drinking wine at night to wind down. And because when we drink alcohol at night before bed, I did this last night. Like I know better, but we do it. And I had interrupted sleep because when we drink wine before we go to bed, it actually disturbs our sleep. It does not allow us to have a really great night of sleep. So we're disrupting our sleep. So we're interrupting our sleep. We are probably pushing through and doing things when we need to rest and recover. We're over exercising. We're doing too much cardio because here our belly, I did this in December and January. I was like, what's going on? I need to work out more. So I did more cardio. We're doing too much cardio. It's the opposite of what we need. We're chronically under eating. Again, our belly fat's getting bigger. Oh, I need a diet. I need to exercise more. It's the wrong move. Okay. So we're actually then putting more stress on our body by thinking and doing what worked in our 20s is going to work now. Okay. Which is not true. So what do we need to do? Okay. We need to decrease our stress intentionally and get more active. Okay. But here's some really tangible things for us to do moving forward. When it comes to our nutrition, I want you to get really, really honest with yourself. Are you eating whole foods, or are you mostly eating processed foods and sugars a lot? When we are eating more whole foods, we're eating fruits and vegetables and all the great beans and proteins and fats, the healthy fats. And, we're doing that. That's actually helping our bodies deal with stress. It's not putting our body under more stress. But when we're eating a lot of processed foods and we're grabbing chips and pastries and donuts and the sugary coffees from Starbucks, and we're having all those drinks and whatnot, it's putting more stress on our body. Okay. True story. So just get really honest. Are there things that you're doing now that you could be doing better? And now that those things that you're doing now are actually making the belly fat like worse, the stress on your body worse, then maybe you can just make an easier switch or swap for that. Try to really get yourself on a sleep schedule like a baby, and have a set bedtime and stick to it. Because the better quality of sleep that you can get, we need 7 to 9 hours of sleep a night and really good sleep. The better quality of sleep you can get, honestly, in 1 to 2 weeks, you'll probably see your belly fat go down. I know when I'm sleeping great, I'm like, whoo, I'm looking good. But like the last week, I haven't slept great. And I've been like, uh-oh, I can tell I'm not sleeping good. Like it's highly reflected in our bodies. Also, like I said, kind of maybe think about limiting the alcohol that you have at night before bed. I'm not saying stop, but just really try to think about it and not do it every single night, because that is really, really impacting your results, your health, your energy, your vitality more than you know. Myself included. Okay. So I'm going to work on this too. And what I like to do instead is to have a fun tea or kombucha. Kombucha is like my nightly cocktail too. Kombucha is so good. Prebiotics, probiotics, really great. Really good for your gut microbiome. Kombucha is so good for you. Okay. Also, this is huge. So, and this is something I've been really doing a lot more too, is trying to get and take more outdoor walks. Getting outside in nature and walking is one of the greatest stress reducers, and research is showing that it's helping people in so many ways outside of that. But for me, when I am taking daily walks, it is like literally that breath of fresh air that just helps the stress roll. And it is really taking away a lot of this cortisol in our bodies, and it's helping us so much. So the weather is starting to get nice in most parts of the country. And so it's time now to start trying to create maybe a daily walking routine or a weekly walking routine. Plan fun with friends. I have way less fun with my friends now than I did in my 20s and 30s because now I am carting people around. I've got ball games and this and golf matches and things like that. So I'm actually being more intentional about planning fun with friends. And I'm trying to plan active fun with my friends. Like I'm going to a yoga session with my friend Erica on Friday. Today I reached out to my friend Jenny and said, do you want to go for a walk with me? So my fun with my friends isn't going out for drinks. And I still do that. And I love to do that, but it's also to go and get active together because I know we all need it. And it's so fun to go be active with your friends. So plan more fun with your friends and really try hard to look at your steps that you're getting. And I'm pointing to my Apple Watch and be aware of your steps and really aim for 8,000 to 10,000 steps a day, because it's very good for reducing your amount of stress and keeping you more active as well. So isn't that crazy? All of that's impacting our bellies. And it makes sense, doesn't it? So for your call to action today, I would love to know on average, how many steps are you getting in a day? And on a weekly basis, how often are you getting outside to just go for a walk? That's something I want to know about today.